Welcome back to Clair Lune from scratch. Okay, now we've just worked on measure 13. Let's go on and work on measure 14. Okay, and again, I'm going to quickly just add the next notes, and then we'll do a quick review of both measures. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Here we go, and let's cut out the next portion. I've already written out the rhythm, as you recall, as a little bumblebee mnemonic. Cut that out. Okay, this is our previous measure. Use my ear turn to go to the next page. Here we go. That's the next measure over here. Okay. So again, I'm going to just draw the clefs just to remind us of how to find our notes. Okay. Now, just one more thing I just want to point out over here. If you notice from the previous measure, we had this line tying over this top F. So I'm not going to play that first note. Okay. We're going to knock out our ties first. Let's knock this out. Knock this out. Okay. A lot of this is just simply being held over. Okay, so that makes our life a little bit easier there. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at the right hand notes. Let's see if we can map this all out. Let's go and map it from the top. Okay, so great big dog goes to this line up here, right above the D line is going to be E over here. That's going to be an E flat. Okay, all right. Let's map up the rest of this. G. Okay, great big. Here's B flat over here. Okay, and right below G is going to be this note here. It's going to be an F. All right. So those three notes are going to be played with 1, 2, and 4. Okay. Reason being, because I can see looking ahead that my right hand is going to need to have a couple of extra fingers to play through these notes while the bottom two notes are being held by the first and second finger. These two fingers are going to hold, and this is going to move on. Okay. So let's go ahead and just learn the rest of the right hand notes and follow through. Okay. So you notice that this is moving up, E flat, and then it moves up to this note up to F over here, comes back down to E flat, goes down to D. We know that's going to be a flat over here, tied over here, and then great big. That's a B over here, B flat. Okay. So let me just show you with the hand how it looks. They're going to hold these bottom two notes through for most of it. Let go of the fourth finger. Let go of the fifth finger. Okay. Tie. And you're going to have to let go of the second finger to play it again at the very end there. Okay, so that's how the right hand goes for this measure. Let's go ahead and work out the notes for the left hand. Okay, so fall down ball. That brings us down to a B over here. This is a B flat. Okay, we're going to use a fifth finger to play that down here. Okay, now let's find out the rest of these notes. Okay, and here, of course, we're on this line. That's going to be our F line. F, so that's going to go up. If you recall, if you added the extra note from the top, instead of just fall down ball game, you can add a fall down ball game. The top line is A. If that's A over here, then this is going to be a B or a B flat, of course. Okay. Let's look up the ledger lines, climb it up. C, this line over here. D is the space, and E is the next ledger line here, but we know that's going to be flatted. Okay. All right. So F. Bottom, B flat, E flat. Hey, do you see a pattern? Do you recall where we just saw that? Yes, we saw that in the right hand over here. Okay? So note, left hand, right hand, okay? We're going to have the same kind of patterns here, okay? Now what I recommend for your left hand is to use 5, 3 here, and 1. We're going to jump from here to another fifth finger, okay? And there's a reason I want to use this set of fingers, because again, looking ahead, I can see that I'm going to need to have an extra finger to play that going forward. So 1, 3, 5, after leaping from a 5 here, and then we're going to use a 2 to get down to there. Okay? So just to recap our fingerings a little bit, right hand I'm going to go to a 4, 2, 1, and then that will free me with those two fingers being held down here. I can go 5, 4, 3, okay, and then the second finger will have to lift again so I can play that 2 for this note over here. So it's going to look like this. That's how I'm going to play with both of those hands. And if you notice, again, I'm going to do the same kind of simplified pedaling where I'm going to push the pedal down. Let me just use a slightly different color. What's going to happen is the pedal from the previous measure is going to connect. I'm going to lift my pedal on the B flat here and then come right back down right after before going on so that I can kind of hook in those notes. So it's going to look like this. In fact, let me go to the previous measure. Remember how this goes? Okay, going to the next measure, I'm holding the pedal, and as soon as I get ready to play this B flat, lift down, and then move. Okay, so that's the way I would finger and play that through. You can see how that connection works, okay? And then we're going to go on to the next portion. The one last thing I want to cover, again, is the rhythm. Both of these measures have the same rhythm, so let me just kind of use my air turn to go back and forth between the previous measure and this next measure, and you can see how that connects. Remember, bumblebee, buzzing, buzzing. Goes like this, ready? And bumblebee, buzzing, buzzing. Moving ahead. Bumblebee, buzzing, buzzing. Okay? So, challenging two measures, a lot of notes, and what we may do is if anybody needs help in terms of having some practice strategies, let me know, and we can revisit this and I can show you some other things to think about in terms of putting this together. All right, very good. Hang in there. Now we get to the second page, which is hard. And I'll do my best to cut this down into really small segments so that you can see that with a little bit of patience and with a very dedicated focus on a small portion of the music at a time, you can get through it. Okay? So we'll get through it together. I'll see you at the next lesson.